Hey Raiders, Mr. Kaufman here, just making you a video for uh, basically to kind of tell you the expectations for when you're in class and also when you're taking quizzes or tests in my class. So first of all, have a workspace, have a desk, have something that is, see, I'm at my desk right now, have a desk, have something where you can have your notebook, you can have your Chromebook, you're sitting upright and you are ready to be engaged and participate in class. I'm going to send this video also to parents so that they're aware of my expectations and what you should be doing. I expect cameras to be on. I expect you to be engaged. You don't always have to be right in the center of your picture, but I do expect that it's fine if your camera's off to the side and I can just see you a little bit here and you don't want to be kind of fully in the picture. That's fine. But when I address you, like online students, I do expect you to kind of, hey, perk up, look at the camera, and especially if I ask you things verbally, I'm not always going to be looking into the camera at you, but I walk around the room and I've got my mic in my ear and I'll talk as I'm walking through the room, and I might just check in with the online people, and I'd expect verbal responses and things like that. I also my plan right now is the students in class will collaborate a lot, and then the students at home will collaborate a lot. And so I want you to know that as of right now, the students in class generally will not hear your discussions. I will hear them in my ear, but they won't hear them unless I open it up to them, and I want you to speak to them because maybe I want you to share an answer that you gave or things like that. But I do expect if I say, okay, online students have a discussion now about something or other, that I hear you talking. I hear you talking back and forth and giving ideas and taking turns to share what you have to say. You can also certainly use the message board. There's this little thing right here, but that's just to ask questions of each other, reply to things that I have asked. I don't mind if you put your replies on there. It's not for messing around and talking about side things or anything of that nature. But that's what I would expect in class, and I expect you to be to class on time. I generally have the Meet open before the bell's going to ring, and so you should be ready to log in right at that bell, and then you stay the whole time, and I can see you the whole time. If I look at the screen and your camera's off, I'm going to wonder, well, why the heck is the camera off? Now, if something's going on at home and you need to tell me, tell me about something going on that would prevent that. Tell me why that camera wouldn't be on. And of course, if you, for some reason during my class, need to run to the bathroom or something, just leave me a little message on the thing, on the message board here, or just chirp in my ear, hey, I'm running to the bathroom. No problem. I don't mind, of course. But that's what I would expect there. A couple things about logging in. So when you're logging in, switch to this. So when you log in you're going to generally log in from your Chromebook, and you'll have a little link up here for Google Meet that you'll just click and it'll bring you to where you're going. I'm using an iPad, so I have a Chromebook, so I hit the little video. But before you log in, what you want to do is you want to turn off that microphone. Okay, turn off the microphone before you log in, and only turn it on when you have something to say to me or you're responding to a question, things like that. So then you hit join, and there's just another person that joined. And so now I have another video here. I can go back to my Meet. And so if I go back to my Meet here, I've got now some more options. Now, another thing that you should know is down here on the bottom, if you know how this thing pops up and off, on and off, these three little dots allow you to change some things. Like you can turn on captions so that words will come across the screen if you want that. You can flip your camera or switch to a different camera. I don't think you'll need that, but also there's different layouts here. I generally will have my layout on I'll have my layout on tiled so that I can see everybody. What you're generally going to want to do is you're probably going to want yours to have like a little sidebar or do a spotlight. And what I would do for yours for spotlight is I would generally have you spotlight and click on either the big screen that I'm projecting, because I log in with my Epson board and present my Epson board screen. And so then any slides I have up there and things, you can see them as good as can be. And I'll also have my iPad, which is basically this one here. And a lot of the time, so I'll have my iPad and I'll switch, let's see, I think it's this one. I'll switch to this one, and this one will be, showing in the front of the room. It'll be a little closer, but that's kind of the view of that one. And so you would probably switch between this one and what I'm presenting to just see me or see what I'm presenting and talking about. And you do have the option on your Chromebook to kind of do your finger thing like this, where you pinch or release and zoom in on something. Like if I'm writing on the smartboard, I believe you can zoom in and see that even better if I'm writing on the dry erase board instead of on the smartboard. And so I'm just going to set that one down there. And so then just a couple of tips to help you with that. So now if we're talking quizzes or tests, so this is where, you've got to kind of be on your honor on some things, but you also need to set up a little bit differently for a test. And so you'll need a second device when we're having a quiz or a test. This being an AP and dual enrollment class, I'm required to observe you testing. And so some people have been doing it while online already, and some of you need to adjust. And so what you can see here is I have set up basically what my expectation would be. When you are taking a quiz or a test, I expect you looking at your computer or looking at your paper. I don't expect you to be looking at the camera that you have set up. That would just make me think you're trying to see some other student's work or something. So you should just be ignoring that the whole time and just focused on your work. And then, so what you need to do for that is you need to do what it takes to set it up so that I can see your workspace. I can see you, kind of the top half of you, your hands and your computer and all this stuff. That's what I want. Some of you have yours going like this. Let me show you. This is not as good. It's okay, but it's not as good. You see how, here, I'll set it up like that first. So that's still showing a bit, but then after you're going, eventually you get like this. And so I don't know if when you're out of the camera like that, you're looking back here at something you have on the floor or you're doing this or that. I want to be able to see you and see this. And so if you just rotate your camera to the side, it goes horizontal, and that allows me to see a lot more. And so that's what you have to play around with. Let me show you what I have set up. All right, so what I have set up here, you can see I set up my camera, and I needed to stack up a couple books because you want it up a little bit higher than your workspace. I had to put a coffee cup behind it so that it would be set up nicely, but that's, see, I have a chair over there too. I experimented with that a little, but that was no good. But so that's what I'm talking about, how you need to do something to set up so that I can see the workspace that I've just shown you. That's my expectation. So you have to practice that ahead of time. You don't want to get to a class where you're going to take a test and then have to set that up and it take you 10 minutes. So you have to experiment with that and get that set up ahead of time. See how, again, I can see the whole body. If I shift or move, I can still see my head, still see the workspace. And so that's what I'm looking for. Parents, please help with this. Please help. Even on quiz or test days, I might shoot you an email, say, hey, we're quizzing and testing today and tomorrow. If you could be around and just check in and make sure they're being honest, that goes a long way. Like that's the type of thing, we're working on this together. But that's what I am looking for. So please practice that. Let me know if you have questions. And I think that you should be all set. Go Raiders.